Hello everyone, my name is Mrs. Fernandez. I'm a third grade teacher at Arboga Elementary, and welcome to our virtual back to school night. So I'll be giving you some important information about the beginning of the school year with distance learning to make sure your child can succeed this year. So going over the materials you should have already picked up for your child at the school. If you haven't done so already, please let me know. I want to make sure your child has the necessary materials for their distance learning. But going over some things, so your child should have been given a pocket like this. Might be a different color, that's okay. What we're going to use for this is some of the paper we'll be reusing, so we're not going to be using a pencil with it. So for instance, possibly their place value chart. So what they'll do is they'll slip it into this chart and be able to use a marker and eraser with it, the whiteboard marker. So it's a paper that we can constantly reuse. So I'll be going over that in the Zoom lessons, but I just want to let you know that's what that pocket's for. I also included these bookmarks for the students, the subtraction, addition, multiplication, division, the green and yellow, and that's for if we're doing word problems. There are little keywords that the students can pick up on to determine what kind of operation is necessary to solve the problem. So I put those in there. And then one last thing I wanted to go over was this little cup of beads. Since the beads are so tiny and they might roll around, I will not be using them during the Zoom lesson just because of the distractions it might cause. So instead, I'm going to show the students how they could use that to solve multiplication problems, division problems, so it's manipulative that they can use on their own time. And that's that for the materials. If you weren't able to pick it up, just let me know. We'll make sure that you get that. So if we did have an actual in-person back to school night, I would have showed this Google slideshow. So I'm going to show it now virtually. So for the other third grade teachers, we have Miss Warner and Miss Stoneberger, and we may be doing small group interventions where your child might be zooming in with those other awesome third grade teachers. So they might be seeing them this year through Zoom. So first things first, signing into Clever and Google Classroom. When you open up the Chromebook, you'll be prompted to show your child's Clever badge, which is this QR code over here that you should have already been given. If you do not have that QR code, please let me know. I have every student's QR code. I can give that to you. And all you do is hold it up to your camera at the top of the Chromebook, and that will sign your child into Clever. And it's really neat what it'll look like. Their page might look a little different than mine because I have a teacher page, but they'll find my icon over here, Mrs. Fernandez class. Click on it. And I already have a little class message there for them. So you'll see Google Classroom right here. And what Clever is that it links your child's usernames and passwords for all the apps we'll be using this year. So they won't need to they won't need to remember their passwords, which is really nice. It'll automatically log them in through this Clever app. So down here you'll see Google Classroom, and your child will click on that, and I have my code right here to join. So it's AX50Y6T. So when you click on this, you'll have to click the plus sign in the top right corner and click Join Class. And where it says class code, again, you're going to put in that code that I gave you on the previous page, and then you'll hit Join. So again, AX50Y6T. And once you join it, they'll have access to the classroom. It'll look like this. And they'll be able to log in. And if you haven't already, please join the Remind. I'll be sending out this slideshow to you. And if you actually click on the picture, it's a link to my page to sign up. And my email is afernandez@mjusd.com. And this is the school phone number. But if you want to reach my room, it'll be extension 5107. Now for the parent portal through Aries, please make sure you sign up for this. You can call Miss Bratton in the office again, here at this phone number. And then once you're signed up, you'll be able to get notifications not only from our BOGA, but also MJUSD. And you can also get class notifications. And we have some supplies that you should have picked up already for your child. If not, please reach out to me. You want to make sure that your child has these supplies every time they log on to Zoom. We might be using the whiteboard marker with the eraser, with the whiteboard. We may be pulling out, a glue stick. So we want to make sure that they're coming to these Zooms ready with their material, so we're, not wasting any precious class time together. So the schedule, this is for Mondays only, so it's a little different this year. They're going to have, the only interaction they will have will be a Zoom in the morning. So we'll have a whole class Zoom to check in and go over the assignments for the week. Now, after that, as you see here, they'll have some independent practice to do. They get to have their snack and recess. Miss Wiseman set up a Google Classroom as well. So I'll be giving the kiddos that code this week. So every Monday, they'll need to log on to her Google Classroom and then do her activities. And I believe they need to submit an assignment with her. And then they'll be able to do an independent math assignment. We're going to have some virtual field trips this year, which will be really cool. They get to practice their typing. They'll have a chunk of PE and then lunch recess. And then in the afternoon, we may have small group intervention, which means we're pulling students either in small groups or we're pulling students one-on-one who just to help in any way we can. And then they're going to end the day with reading books of their choice, which will be on 2 different apps on their Clever, either Epic or a new one that we're using this year called Myon. Now, the rest of the week will be a different schedule. We'll start the day with a Zoom, so checking in with each other, and then we're going to go right into reading. When reading is over, possibly around 8:45-ish. The rest of the time, the students will have some work to do independently on their own. And then they're going to move on to snack and recess break, and then we're going to join again at 10 o'clock. And that's when we're going to move on to math, a math Zoom. And again, we're going to work together for a little, and then the students will be off to do independent work and then practice their math facts. Then they get to move on to spelling and grammar. We'll meet one more time for the day at 11:15. Again, that one's going to be a pretty quick meet, and then they'll have some practice time that's independent. Typing club will be independent, so that's practicing their keyboarding skills. PE will be independent. Then they'll have their lunch and recess, and then again the Lexia online. I believe your students used that last year in 2nd grade. And then we might pull students at that time for small group. And then again, they get to end the day with reading. So that's going to be our schedule for Tuesday through Friday. And then this was also in your child's baggie that they picked up, but just the Zoom expectations, to be on time, make sure they're coming prepared. That means they have their materials. They're in a room where they can focus. They're using the chat responsibly. They're raising their hand, participating in the lesson. So we'll be going over this the first week, making sure we're following the Zoom expectations and the school rules. And now for parent involvement. During this unprecedented time, parents are going to play a bigger role than ever before in their child's education. However, I will be there with you every step of the way. The district has put in place platforms this year to help teachers better monitor and help their students. And I'll be able to monitor every student as they're working and intervene immediately through a phone call or video chat on Chromebooks if you guys need help. So I will be able to do that. Also, there's the single sign-on with Clever with the badges that should make logging on much easier. Now, what I need from you parents is to just check in with your child and make sure that they're doing their work, and that can be through Aries Parent Portal or their Google Classroom, and that they're participating in their Zoom meetings. And if you or your child are struggling and need extra support, please let me know. I'm here to help you guys. So just reach out to me. I'd love to help. So I want to thank you, and then we're going to end with a quote here. Together, may we give our children the roots to grow and the wings to fly. So we already went over the Clever, which I'm sure we're going to add more apps over time. But again, they just get to click on these and it'll, with their Clever login, lead them right to those fun apps. So I just want to go over our Google Classroom real quick. So every week I'm going to post something called an assignment log, and it'll have the specific dates, the start of the week and the end of the week with the dates, just to make sure you are clicking on the correct assignment log. So what you do, you're going to click on it and you'll see a little image like this. It'll open up a Google slideshow for your child. And although I'll be going over every day in Zoom what they're doing with me, and then once they log off, what the expectation is, this is just a really easy format to go back to, just to make sure you and your child know what's expected of them every day. And also, if your child misses a day or misses a Zoom, this is just an easy way to catch up. So for instance, some of these pictures will just be a direct link to what your child needs to do. So for instance, every day they're going to be doing a check-in with how they're feeling, if there's anything that they need to share. So they would click on the picture and then a link pops up. So they'll be able to click the link and it'll take them directly to where they need to go. So for instance, if they were checking in with me and it's a Monday, they would click Monday, and again, it's a link. Then it'll take them to the Google form that they need to go to. So that's how this will work. Again, like math, if they click the math book, it's a link. And if they click on it, this is an assignment from my spring semester. It'll take them right there. They would click on it. This would be their own copy. And this would be the slide that we would have worked on that day in Zoom, and then they would have needed to finish and turn in and submit through Google Classroom. So that is what our template will look like. There may be pictures that don't have links. For instance, this Myon, that's their reading app. This one does not have a link because they'll need to access that through Clever, not Google Classroom. So again, they go to their Clever page, and it would be right here, Myon, and they just click on it, and through Clever, it logs you in, no username or password. So again, if there is a picture here, that means it's in their Clever, like typing club, it's right here. They would just need to click on that. So that is our virtual back to school night. I know it's a lot of information, so if you had any questions, just let me know. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm looking forward to this school year. I know we all want to be back in class with one another, but we're starting this school year off as safe as we can. But I'm looking forward to a year full of fun and learning and exploring, and I'm so happy to have your child in my class. So I'm looking forward to a great year together. If you have any questions, please reach out to me through Remind, through my email, and I'm happy to help.